Welcome back. We are talking about today on the Pitch Queen Show how to connect with influential people and how it got me on guess what show? Shark Tank. So, are you maybe wondering how can you really get noticed by influencers, right? There's just so many people out there these days. How do you get noticed by decision makers? How do you get noticed by like famous people? Well, in this video, I am going to share 4 tips to get someone's attention, because it's really important, just like I did when I got the right connections to get on season 4 of Shark Tank. And I'm going to show you how you can use these same strategies to connect with potential clients, influencers, or really truly anyone else that you might feel is kind of out of your reach, that could change your sales of your business. For me, like with Shark Tank, I mean, if my episode ever aired, it could have changed the whole revenue of my business. But just like overnight oats, this is going to help you overnight. So make sure to stick around for my 4th tip, okay? Because it's really going to exponentially increase your ability to connect with anyone. Welcome back to the Pitch Queen Show, where I share my best tips on literally what I personally do and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur and increase your income, increase your sales, increase your revenue, whatever word resonates with you. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Michelle. I'm your host, the Pitch Queen, and make sure to subscribe and hit that button right there below. And you know that bell? Do you see the little bell? Make sure to hit that too so you get notified of any new videos that I have coming up. And right now, I'm doing new videos about every other week. And I know that sometimes it feels like, it's not really what you know, but who you know. And making connections with the right people can be a major factor in how far you go in your business and how fast you really truly get there. So let's go through my 4 tips for you for today, okay? And this is literally how I got on Shark Tank. So I'm just going to tell you exactly what I did, because if I can do it, guess who else can do it? You can do it. So do your research. Who is the person you need to make sure you check in with and get in touch with? What I did is I Googled who are the producers of Shark Tank season 4. So who can you Google to get to the right person? Think about why do you want to connect with them, because your why and how you connect with them is going to drive your conversation. Think about what events will they be at this year. So for me, I applied online and I also sent them Twitter messages and LinkedIn. I'm going to get to that in a second. However, Shark Tank has live events throughout the country where you can go pitch them. Well, if they're going to be in, let's say, New York, okay? Typically, they're going to stay at a certain hotel. If you find out where the producers are going to stay, you can go hang out in the hotel and meet people the old school style in person. I've done that multiple times. I'm even going to share a little off-topic story. I did this when I used to work with a lot of NFL teams. And when I was working with the NFL teams, I would go to the NFL Combine, which is in Indianapolis each year, and I would find out where Nike had their party. And Nike had their party at the Omni Hotel. Literally, my partner and I, who were working with athletes at that time, we would go park it on the couch at the Omni Hotel for about 3 days. We met every single decision maker that we needed to meet. Events are truly a great place to meet people that you need to get to on those influential people. Because guess what? Influential people are just like human beings like you and I, and they all stay at hotels. You just need to know where to go. So think about this too. How do you align with their goals and their mission and vice versa? So for me getting on Shark Tank, my goal was to get on the show. Who are they looking for? They're looking for great personality. At the end of the day, it is a TV show. They're looking for business owners that know their stuff, entrepreneurs that are motivated and who know their numbers, right? They don't want people pitching on Shark Tank that don't really know their numbers. We all know what happens. Kevin O'Leary says, you need to know your numbers, right? Or Robert will go, I can't believe you're here and you don't know your numbers. So anyway, if you can't really answer these questions that I'm talking about, it's pretty unlikely that you'll be able to make a real connection with them. So think about what is it that they're looking for and then make sure that you match that. I call this doing your due diligence, okay? So when I researched the producers for Shark Tank, I applied online. I found their names on the website. You can also search LinkedIn. So this is how you do it on LinkedIn, okay? Little secret. You go to LinkedIn, you type in company name. You'll see Shark Tank as the company name. In there, you're going to see all the past people that have been producers on there currently, or it could be in their past history. If for some reason you can't find it, you can also pay LinkedIn an extra $79 or $99 for all the extra search capabilities, but you can totally do it for free. So again, I went looking for all the producers' names, and I even tried to find their emails. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, if you connect with someone on LinkedIn with the connection on your phone, you're going to get connected. If you do it on a laptop, it's going to ask you for their email. So I don't recommend connecting with someone on their laptop. So do it on your phone. Once they're connected, you can go into LinkedIn, go to more information, and it will show you their email. Okay? Super duper uber helpful to get to anyone influential. Or if you're like me and you are trying to get on Shark Tank, or you're trying to right now, it's a great way to do it. Tip number 2. Use your current connections and ask for an introduction. 6 degrees of separation is truly a real thing. Like, it's legit, you know? Who do you know that might know a certain person? Do you have a common connection that is willing to make an introduction? Because a common connection can actually greatly increase the chance that you'll get a response. Similar to sales, I want to give you an example. If you get a hot lead or a warm lead from a referral, you're more likely to close that client or that referral, right? Same things go for connection on email, LinkedIn, or whatever. Try to find some 6 degrees of, separation. Is that what I called it? I don't even remember what I called it. 6 degrees of separation. And don't be afraid to ask. Just like in a sales enrollment conversation, if you want to work with a new client or you want to get an investment, what do you have to do? You have to ask for the business. No one's going to just say, oh yeah, here you go, Michelle. Like, you're awesome. I'm going to just buy from you. No, that's not how the world works. In sales and in enrollment, we actually have to ask. And the answer, if you don't ask, guess what? Is no. So if you ask for the introduction, you ask for the connection, you ask for their phone number, you ask to be connected on LinkedIn, you have a 50-50 chance these people are going to say, yes. Okay, right? Just like in sales, if I didn't ask for the check from investors, I would have never raised about almost like $1 million from my last business. If I didn't ask to work with accountants now that I know I can truly help, I would be working probably with nobody. I would just be here making videos for you. But I like to work with people and help people. So what do you have to do? You have to ask. And I literally just did this yesterday. I wanted to meet a few new clients, okay? Not yesterday, it was 2 days ago. I just lied. I thought it was yesterday, but my week is like a blur, okay? I knew I could help these people. And what I did is I went to one of my current clients. Her name is Erica, okay? And I asked her, hey, Erica, there's 2 other people that I want to meet that you know. Would you be willing to do a text message intro so I can help them as I've just helped you over the last couple years? What do you think? She said, well, of course, Michelle, I'd love to do that. Let's just do it right now. I'm like, okay, great. And voila, it's a warm connection versus a cold connection, just like in sales. I'm going to give you one other story because Kevin Harrington has been a guest on my podcast, Success Unfiltered. And since we're talking about Shark Tank today, why not talk about him? So I was at an event and I met a new friend. His name's Eric. And Eric said, Michelle, I'd love to help you out. Who is it that you'd want to meet? And we got on the subject of Shark Tank. And he's like, oh, I actually know Kevin Harrington. I said, oh, great. I said, Eric, would you be willing to do an introduction? He said, sure. No problem, Michelle. He had a selfie stick in his cell phone. We did a together video. He said, hey, Kevin, this is my new friend, Michelle. She wanted to meet you. And he sent the text message to Kevin right then and there. Literally, all this happened within a span of about 5 minutes. So Similar to if you've ever heard, the warm lead, cold lead thing, it's really important that you know whatever you can do to focus on those warm leads, focus on the warm introductions, focus on those connections that you have, 6 degrees of separation, right? And same goes for connections. Keep them hot, all right? Tip number 3, leverage your social media, okay? It really is easier than ever before to reach out directly to people nowadays, especially with the DMs on Instagram. By the way, a DM on Instagram, I recommend doing a video. A lot of people don't use the video feature, but video is connection. And in sales and in enrollment, which we're talking about, right? If you want to get in front of an influencer or get on Shark Tank or get the attention of some of the famous big name people, video gets them to connect with you personally and they get to know your personality. And I love LinkedIn, but you have to show up. So you cannot be a lurker, okay? You got to start interacting with these people's accounts. You can't just show up and start asking for things, okay? Because that doesn't really get you anywhere. And you might be asking for an introduction, but post genuine comments. Ask and answer different questions on things they're posting on. So let's say you find producer Joe, okay? Joe is on Shark Tank, and you want to start to say, hey, Joe, I just applied online, and I'm thinking about coming to Chicago to pitch, and you want to ask Joe what hotel they're staying in because you want to meet Joe in person. By the way, that's a bonus tip. I would highly recommend doing that. You need to build a relationship with Joe. I would find Joe's Instagram, I'd find Joe's Twitter, I'd find Joe on LinkedIn and start building the communication with him in his online community, right? On Instagram, send him a video message. Super crucial, he's gonna get to know your personality, okay? Now, when you go to the ask, it becomes a warm ask, a warm message, okay? They're gonna know if they're liking your vibe. Does Joe like you? Does he think you're going to be good for TV? If you're trying to get on Shark Tank, you need to have a good personality, right? So, by the way, if you like what I'm talking about, let's see a thumbs up below. Yeah? Or what do you do? What do you do right now to connect with people on people's social platforms? How do you like and comment on their stuff? I would love to know, how are you leveraging this in your social media? Can you drop it in the comments below? All right. I did this social media leveraging, like I mentioned, when I got on Shark Tank. So what I did is I tweeted all the producers. I connected with them on LinkedIn, and I also applied on the Shark Tank website and sent in an email. I did season 4. I think they're on season 11 or 12 right now. I don't even know. So times have changed. I recommend connecting with the producers and going and flying and hanging out in the hotels that they stay at. When they do their in-person pitches where you can pitch them and you wait in line overnight, you can meet them in the hotel. I promise you. I met also a new client recently in the gym. If you like to work out, go in the gym. Go to wait in line in Starbucks. We're in these hotels. I promise you, you will connect and get them from all different angles. That's the whole point of this, right? And I promise you it works. And if you have a success story, please go pop it in the comments below if you've met someone at the gym, a Starbucks, or the hotel. But I promise you it works. Build that connection with the producer. That's what I would do in this day and age. And then I would find out, hey, Joe, I know you guys are headed to Chicago. By the way, what's the best hotel to stay in? Where do you guys stay? If you've built the connection and built the relationship right and you have that rapport, he's going to tell you where they're staying. So don't be a stalker. I'm just saying do it in a professional way because I promise you it works. And like I mentioned, would love to know right now, what do you do to connect with someone? What are you doing to get introduced to someone of influence? What are you doing? Put it in the comments below. All right, tip number 4. I think I've talked about this before, but give before you get. If you want to give introductions to get more introductions, that's what I would recommend. Just like I was sharing with you, my friend Eric, he introduced me to Kevin Harrington. Eric gives all the time. He is a giver. Every time I see him, Michelle, have you met so-and-so? Michelle, have you met so-and-so? Have you met them? I'm like, oh my God, it's so overwhelming. But Eric does such a good job at giving that he gets way more in return. You know, he's got events all over the country where people are showing up. So if you offer real, genuine support and you're always thinking about how can you serve or help someone else, then the follow through is easy because you can do the asking and you're going to get more yeses. Also, for those of you that know my work husband, his name is Ross. He gives all the time. He's always like, Michelle, what can I do to help you? How can I help you? And you know what? It comes in return. I've helped him. I made introductions. I've helped him on what to do with an enrollment call. Like, it's the give and take. It's one of my friends, Sean Croxton, he talks about, you know, how do you build wealth, right? Like your money mindset. And even if you're broke, okay, and you set aside money and you're going to the homeless shelters and helping them and giving and giving and giving, this is a universal law. So the more that you give, the more that you get in return. And even before you ask for anything in return, you should be doing this without expecting or getting anything back. And most recently I did this. I was helping a new friend and I just kept giving. I saw the potential in him and I knew what he could create in the world and I knew what he could do. And I did it without ever expecting a thing in return. And I invite each of you to do that too. So if you want to get even more stories, tips, and tricks about approaching influencers, getting to those celebrity type people, check out the link to my full-length interview with my work hubby, Ross, okay, the guy I was just talking about. I'll post the episode of the networking with influencers that we did in the description and comments below, so make sure to check that out. Also, if you like this video, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell right there so you get notified of all of my future videos. If there is a topic that you want to learn more about, specifically related to sales, enrollment, getting in front of people, anything salesy related, drop it in the comments and I'll make sure to do a video on it in the future. Leave a comment below. Send me an email, hello@thepitchqueen.com. Thank you all so much for being here. I will see you next time.